What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Sweet and Sour Show. Hope everyone had a great weekend. And today we have a special guest with us, a friend of mine named Armando of Cinematic Films. And today we're going to talk a little bit about collaborations and having a portfolio. So, to get started, welcome to the show, Armando.
Hey, what's up, man?
So, Armando, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, man. I've been doing videography for a couple years now. Started just doing random shoots for restaurants just around Houston, and then slowly started expanding to the fitness world, real estate. Bulk of my work right now is real estate. Just keeping it simple like that, man.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit of how I met Armando. We're actually both in the food community, the foodie community, if you want to say that. We met on Instagram DMs. I had joined a group, and I guess we talked through there because he saw that I was doing video. And when we met, I was just started. Like, it was the very beginning, so I didn't know much back then. But that's how we met, and we became friends. And every now and then we would help each other with video shoots, and just go to events together and just talk about videography stuff. Okay, so Armando, I know you talked a little bit about what you do, like what kind of videos you shoot, but what is your favorite, I guess, type of videos? You say you do some for restaurants, some real estate, but if you had to choose, like, what was your favorite thing to do?
Well, I think my favorite type of video is more of like the documentary style. I haven't been able to do many of those, but just the kind that has voiceovers and has a story to tell, and it's just trying to find a good story is my main issue with all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so basically just pretty much creating a video with a story behind it, and just getting people to see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I feel like videos really like emotional. Like pictures can only give you so many words,
Mm-hmm.
So in a video, I think like my goal is like to make a person cry. Whether I don't know how that sounds.
Hey, I mean, that I actually I agree with that a little bit. I do shoot a lot of weddings. I know that's not something that Armando likes to do,
Mm-hmm.
but when I shoot wedding films and I edit the video, my goal is to we know these couples are getting married, but my goal is just still to tell a story of this couple and their day. And honestly, when I read comments from people that watch their videos and they say they cried, I feel like I've done my job. What do you think, Brian?
Same. Like, storytelling is a very important part of the video process, but just just being able to work with other people and collaborating like on bigger projects like that is always good, just to meet new people. And like how you said you met Armando through collaboration, like for you guys, like what do you think is just like the bare minimum in a collaboration for you? Like, does it have to like involve money, or do you always seek like collaborate, oh, this person has to have a huge following? Or is it like,
Right.
what is like when people reach out to you, like how do you gauge if like, oh, is this worth it to me? Or like,
Yeah, I mean, I think when I first started, right, when I reached out to Armando, or did you reach out to me? I can't remember.
I don't even know.
We both just kind of
It's been
just
a while.
start. Yeah, it's been a while. We just both kind of started talking, and
you just started liking each other's posts?
we just started liking each other's posts. We're like, oh, you do videos? Oh, you eat good food? All right, I'm down. No, but I think that, I like doing collaborations with just, I guess, anybody that kind of fits, my vision. I like to always learn, and I think it's important to learn from other people, right? Because other people might know more than you do. I mean, that's always, right? You're going to have your own sets of skills, but you might learn more from other people. And so that's, how I got started with Armando. He knew a lot of stuff that I didn't. And so I'd always ask him, hey, how does this work, or how do I do this? And then he might ask me a few questions too, and that's our own little way of collaborations. I don't think it's always necessary. Like if I'm doing a shoot and I need someone to help me and like, hey, can you come collab with me? It's not always necessary. You know, it could be other things like, you know, teaching each other how to maybe some edit skills or some lighting skills or something like that. So what about you, Armando? What do you think about like collaborations?
I mean, I like collaborations. For me, what I look for in a collaboration is more of like, you know, do I like your work? Like, can I see myself working in your type of environment? And that's a big thing for me, because like if I don't flow with your type of work or anything like that, I'm just not going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And for me, a lot of it has to do with the enjoyment, because, you know, this is something I do on the side, so it's not like full time. So like for me, the time has to be worth it for me.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You know, like I said, you kind of have to have the similar visions. You know, you kind of have to you're both going the same direction in order for a collaboration to work.
Yeah, I think I spoke on it before. How people try to like, you know, reach out to me sometimes, but it's just like they just want to piggyback on what I'm doing. Like, hey, I'm doing a shoot for a client, and they're like, oh, you know, they want access to that person, so they just come just to, you know, talk their ear off, and like they're not actually doing any work, or like, you know, like collaborations obviously like a collaborative effort. Like, hey, like let's do this together, but you know, sometimes that's not always the case, or you know, it's just like one person's benefiting significantly more than the other.
Have you reached out to anybody for collaborations, or is it more of people reaching out to you?
Kind of like what Armando said, of like, hey, like I see the work you're doing and I like it a lot, and like I feel like we have a similar train of thought. Like, well, hey, like what do you think? You know, reach out to people, but I mean,
I think it helps build your own content as well when you have, you know, a strong group of people that. Oops, sorry, that was my phone.
amateur hour.
Amateur. Yeah, I think you know you need a strong group of people to do collaborations with, and just to build content and to build each other up in this community.
Yeah, it's definitely about building your network, but you know, like some people work better alone. A lot of people don't know how to work in a collaborative effort. So yeah. I mean, you know, just like if you have a bad experience, don't get discouraged if it's like, oh man, like I hate working with other people because they made me shoot, edit, do everything, and they're just over there talking. So
do you ever get collaboration requests where you're looking at the DM like, am I getting paid, or do you just want to shoot this together? Are you paying me, or am I paying you? Do you have those thoughts?
Yeah, I get them every once in a while. It's more of again, it goes back to, you know, one, am I going to enjoy it, and then two, the amount of work that's going to go into it. So if it's a lot of work that they expect me out of it, then the next question is, you know, am I getting paid for this, or
right?
So
yeah, I guess if it's something that you want to do, like we're doing a car video together with really nice cars like McLarens and stuff. You know, when I tell the guy, I'm like, hey, let's collab, I don't expect him to want, you know, pay me or Armando or both of us to make this video. It's just I guess we all have similar interests, right? Me and Armando likes to shoot cars, and we think it'll make a cool video. And the guy that owns the cars love cars, and he would like to see the video. So we kind of have the same vision. We just want to make, you know, a cool story about the car that he owns.
Yeah, I think communication is very important, especially in that scenario. Because I've had somebody come up to me and say, hey, like I have a car club. I know you shoot, all that stuff. And then at the end of it, it was like, you know, I was like, okay, well, my rate is this. And he was like, oh, I thought, you know, like you were just going to do it because you like cars. It's like, I
think it's also the communication, like you said, the communication part.
Yeah,
right?
Because like I assumed he was contacting me for like work.
Yeah. Not
like, hey, like I'm gonna put your name in my Facebook group that has 1,000 people in it.
Yeah.
I was like, to be honest.
Yeah. It's
that
the way.
needs to
It's the
know.
way. I think it's the way you ask and you
Yeah.
say it too, because I've had DMs of models DMing me asking me to shoot some photos for them for a brand, and then the way I saw it was, okay, that's cool. I can get some cool content out of it, and then you can use the photos or whatnot. I'm down to collab, and I ended up getting a rate from the model to pay her. To me, I think it's the communication, is the way you ask, right? Why would you go ask somebody, let's collab, but you have to pay me to collab?
That's
Does
funny.
that make sense?
Yeah.
That's funny because it's happened to me more than once.
Yeah.
Like they contacted me and said, "Hey, I saw the work you did for this model. Like I would like something similar."
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Like I was excited. Like she was like, "Hey, I'm coming from Austin." And then the day before, she was like, "Oh, by the way, like this is my rate. This is how much it's gonna cost for my gas." I was like, "Why are you sending this to me? Like,
Yeah.
what is it?"
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
like-
it's if it's the other way around, right? If
Yeah.
it's somebody, I'm like, hey, I want to shoot some photos for you for content, let's collab. At that point, if she wants to tell me, hey, I need a hotel stay, I need anything, I'll be like, okay, that's fine. If that's, I asked you for help, right? You have the right to give me your rate. But if it's the other way around, to me, it just seems a little odd.
So like thinking about in that scenario where you're trying to collaborate with different like people, models, and like so at what point is it like just building for like your portfolio, or like how much, like say you're shooting cars, like how many, like building your portfolio, what do y'all feel about like, hey, like I have 10 videos of cars, so like it kind of limits your portfolio, like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like I'm kind of but
No. Yeah, so I mean, with how much portfolio is enough portfolio, right? So me and Armando's actually, we've done a car video before, right? With what was it? With Josh and his Honda, and that was kind of like, for us, it was a test run.
Yeah.
Would you say it was a test run?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we have one video of a car, I guess one car video. So, we want to do more. I don't think there's a number, a specific number you should reach. I think it's as long as you've gotten the content that represents you and your vision and what you want, then that's when you can say, if when people reach out, you can say, hey, this is what I do, this is what I have, and you show them, and that's your portfolio. What do you think about it?
I mean, I agree with that to an extent. I feel like some people, they want to see, 2-3 videos, a little bit more, just to see, like, his first video was, absolute fire. The second was just like, can he be consistent with it? So I think just
consistency.
Yeah, just consistency for your portfolio. I think that's an important thing to have.
Yeah, that's true. I think one kind of gets you started, right? Do you have something? So kind of like when I started doing weddings, the first wedding I did was actually completely free. It was my friend's wedding. He didn't want a videographer, and I told him, hey, let me just come do it for you. I'll just do it for free, just to have a portfolio. And I did that one that I could show people that are looking for videographers, but I know that it isn't enough because they want to see more. Because they see one and like, okay, that's good. Do you have another example? And because all weddings are different, right? There are different locations, different couples, different timelines. So yeah, there's no set number, but I guess I gotta retract my statement. It depends on what you. I guess it depends on what you do.
You just need one, at least just the one.
At least just the one.
At least one, but
one to start. And then you just gotta, and then the rest, it just depends. It depends on what you're doing.
So how many weddings did you shoot for free to build your portfolio?
I actually shot one wedding for free to build my portfolio. So the second and third one I did was on a very heavy discounted rate.
Okay.
So basically, I showed the couple, hey, hey, this is my wedding video I've done. You know, it's my first one, so I won't be charging full rate. It'll be half of what my rate's gonna be.
So would you say that was more so for you to build your portfolio then, since it was such a discounted rate?
Yeah, I would say that's also, I discounted it also to build more portfolio, and you know, and I felt that I, for the first one that I did, I don't want to say deserved, but I needed to charge at least something to make it worthwhile.
Gotcha. Yeah, for me, in the beginning, I wouldn't say like just solicited myself out. Like, because I know that's how a lot of people do it on Instagram. It's like, hey, I'm a photographer. Like, let me shoot photos for you. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of creepy. Like,
Right.
dude with the just bought a camera wants to take pictures of a model. You know,
Damn,
like.
this sounds like me.
But it's like, you know, like I guess I got kind of lucky. Like, one of the girls I shot, she was kind of popular, and it kind of snowballed from there. Where like, she follows a whole bunch of people, and they're like, oh man, like, this dude didn't charge me. Well, I guess that was a bad thing. She was like, this dude didn't charge me. So like, I had like girls like in my DMs like, hey, like, can you shoot me this weekend? Like, oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
But then like you realize like, well, hold on, like I'm shooting this girl for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
And when she's doing all these like, you know, outfit changes, and she's getting paid by some company $1,000 or whatever
Yeah.
to post content. But wait, I didn't get paid for this. I barely like got tagged half the time.
Yeah.
But I got to post it on my Instagram, got some likes and you know, like.
So I think, okay, I'm gonna bring that in real quick. When you said I didn't get tagged, it barely got tagged in it. So I think in collaborations, you should always, even honestly, I think even sometimes when you get paid for a project, I think you should still get tagged, because it is the work done by a creative, right? Why can't you show people who did it, and and their art, right? I think some people are afraid to, because they don't want other people coming in and taking, I guess, undercut, right? Or using let's say I hired Armando and I tag him in all my stuff, and all of a sudden, for future projects, I'm like, hey Armando, I need you again, I need to hire you, and Armando's like, no, I'm too busy, I got other projects. But some people think like that, but that's just I don't know, my thoughts on that.
In some circumstances, I feel like if I were to, like, for example, hire you or Armando, like if it's a bigger project,
Yeah.
I might, like, we have certain forms, like, hey, you need to sign this because we're hiring you as part of our team. Like,
Right.
you're not going to get, I'm not shouting out your company.
Oh,
that,
for
hey,
sure, for
that
sure.
We just shot a commercial for,
Yeah.
Nike or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
To some extent.
I'm not shouting out your account like you're under us right
Yes.
now. Like and like, especially if it's a paid thing.
Yes.
You're not there. Like, there's going to be an agreement.
To some extent, I don't necessarily require it. Sometimes I don't care if you don't. I think it's really up to the project, right? It depends on what you're doing, and if that project is, I guess, confidential or big budget, then I don't know. What do you think?
For me, it's like, if they tag me, they tag me. I don't know. It depends on if it's paid or if it's free. If it's free,
Yeah.
like I sort of feel like, at least tag me because I did the work, and
Yeah.
you were part of the collaboration too, but I was there with you. But
Yeah.
if it's like a paid thing, I'm more so like, if you want to
Yeah.
tag me, cool. If not, I mean, just let me post on my page. That's
I
fine.
think that's where I'm going to. Like, if it's a collaboration, if it's a free gig, then please tag me. But if it's a paid thing, great. If you do, oh well. If you don't,
Yeah, for sure. Like, especially like if it's a free project, because there's been some instances where, like, the whole, like, people get really, like, I mean, I understand, like, people get riled up because they want the credit, they want,
Yeah.
recognition.
Yeah.
But in some cases, it's like, I'll usually just be like, hey, like, we're gonna tag you. If we don't tag you, like, you have, you can post the content on your own.
yeah.
But just, because like that's what it usually happens. Like, or if you know, like I said before.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, going back to the portfolio. So, I know Armando, you talked about doing real estate. You know, that's kind of your main thing right now. So, how did you get started in real estate, and how many shoots, I guess, did you take before you you were comfortable and you were getting more work? You know, how many real estate videos did you have to do?
Well, I started out because my girlfriend's brother-in-law is a real estate agent, and
Okay.
I was seeing him, posting pictures on his, MLS account or HAR account, and I was like, man, I can do those pictures. Why don't you just pay me?
Mm-hmm.
And he thought it was a good idea too. He thought, instead of paying a company on the side, why not help my own family out too? So that's how I sort of got into it too. So I did a couple of shoots for him,
Mm-hmm.
and then as you start getting into more of that, you start noticing that more and more real estate agents start reaching out, like, oh,
Yeah.
where did you get these pictures? And just word of mouth basically is what happened. And that's how I got into the real estate world.
Yeah.
And with that, I did, a video, maybe my second time shooting a real estate house, and then from there it just sort of snowballed. Now I get random people just reaching out to me, hey, can you do a video for this house? And it's just worked out.
Yeah, I think I did several, I guess, real estate videos, and I just made it all into a reel and just kind of called it a day. Like, this is what I can do. So, that's kind of.
Yeah, so portfolio wise, I mean, I know everybody's different. So do you just like have yours on your website and like it's spread out through like, categories that you like, say weddings, real estate, or like restaurants, like?
Yeah, for me personally, I have my own website, and so I every year I kind of make a reel of everything I do. So the reel, you can see I do weddings, I do small business ads, I do everything real estate in there. But I also have a section that kind of showcases my wedding films, my real estate videos, event coverages, anything in the food industry and small businesses. So I showcase literally almost everything I do. I would say my favorites are on top because that's what I want to do more of, and then smaller things are towards the bottom. And Instagram too is a way I showcase, because a lot of people on social media right now, that's like the biggest way to get clients nowadays. So I put a lot of stuff on social media, and friends would see it, they would share, the friends of friends, like like Armando said, word of mouth. It's huge in this game. But what about you, Armando? How do you share your portfolio? Or do you just kind of keep it, and then when somebody reaches out, you just send them links?
Well, the bulk of my stuff is you can find it on Instagram. So all the stuff that I think is worthy of, I would say, like a portfolio, is I put it onto my Instagram. And I would say that I need a website, but I mean, at this point in time where I'm at, I don't feel like it's worth my money to put it into a website when I have the free word of mouth and spread on Instagram.
Yeah.
What about you, Brian?
Yeah, I asked that question because when I look at different creators' stuff, or like I contact somebody, hey, can I see your work? Like, oh, check out my Instagram, or like you said, like, hey, here's my website. Here's, like, because how I talked about before about being diverse and having like covering different fields, like wedding videos, like sometimes Instagram doesn't really capture it the way you want it to.
Yeah.
Like if it's like compression or like
quality
and like just cutting the time, or like sometimes like the algorithm kind of is like unfortunate for some people. It's like, hey, I really want to get into weddings.
Not enough reach.
Yeah, so like, hey, I really want to get into weddings. I've shot 5. You post on your Instagram, you're only getting 100 views.
Right.
But you post a picture of a hot dog, it gets like like you go you get like, oh man, I got 1,000 views. Like, why is this?
Yeah.
And then you search weddings on Instagram, and like 1,000 posts from like an hour ago, because there's so many like different.
Yeah, I guess it's limited, based on also your, I guess your platform on social media, where you stand. Are you super popular on social media? Are you just started? You just made an account. So I guess it depends on where you stand. It could be helpful and it could not be helpful at the same time.
Yeah, because if you were to like go to my Instagram, like you're like, oh, this guy like might do videos. Like I don't really like promote it like that on Instagram. But like, oh, if you went to like our agency like
Yeah.
website, like, hey, like we do everything. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like I might post something on story like, hey, we're working on a big project, but you may never see that project on my personal account because I just post random stuff. Like, you know,
I said social media is huge for promoting right now, but that's not to discredit using other forms of advertising. It was like the Google SE, what is it, SEO, because sometimes I have people that randomly emails me through my contact form on my website that's never seen my Instagram.
You would say like
too.
your Google hits are doing okay.
I wouldn't say it's doing okay. I would say it does its work sometimes. I haven't spent too much, I guess, thought onto making it better. So I'm not sure. I'm not a Google SEO expert, so I'm not sure how many hits I actually get. I'm not sure when people type in specific, Google searches, if I'm showing up or not.
I know this is going in a different direction, but like when people like contact you, it's mostly through social media.
I would say a lot of it is through social media. I would say maybe 50% social media, 25% word of mouth, and 25% website.
Okay. How about you, Armando?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, all I have is Instagram, so everything's through social media. I'll get an occasional text message because my phone's linked to my Instagram account, but other than that, it's just
so like 90-10 for Armando.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like, I guess, how people can find your portfolio. You could have 100 amazing videos and photos on your website, but like if nobody's seeing it, like what's the point?
Yeah.
Because I've found photographers like, wow, like amazing work, 200 followers on Instagram, 30 likes.
Right.
I'm like, man, like more people need to see this, and like, sharing is one thing, but like, and those people are like really passionate about it, but hey, I can't quit my day job. I only got 200 followers, 30 likes. Like, how can they take the next step into branching out? Like what would the suggestion be for you, Michael, like on growing your audience?
I think if you're just like how when I started, I think at that point we'll go back to collaborations is part of what you need to do. Find people that have the platform that you want to do work for. And, if they require payment, then, hey, maybe that's your form of paying for advertising, right? I think that's probably the best way to go about it. It's just collabing it and networking with more people. Because I've asked, I'm not shy of asking people. It's, I slide in the DM, but I slide in the DM to show people my skills, to show people what I can do. And it doesn't hurt to ask, right? The worst they can say is, no, I'm good. Or if they give you a rate that you can afford, say thank you and move on to somebody else. Because they can get you somewhere. The right person can get you somewhere. And you're both benefiting, right? Because if you're doing a video for someone, let's say with a very strong social media presence, you can get tagged possibly, and maybe people will see, hey, you did this video for this person and it looks amazing. Can I do work with you? And for them, they have content on their page. So I think it's a win-win for both. But of course, sometimes you have to pay it, and if it's not something you want to do, then politely just move on. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Armando, have you ever reached out to anybody to collab?
Yeah.
I mean, besides me, of course. Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, there's like people that, I see their work and I'm like, hey, I love your work, so yeah, I'll reach out to you. So I think it's just when you reach out to somebody, has to be mutually beneficial to both parties. So like, I invited, somebody that I met on Instagram to a foodie shoot not too long ago. And I noticed that they did a bunch of real estate work but they have never really done like video work for food.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can bring you here. We'll sort of like collaborate. And I learned more so how he shot. He saw how I shot. So it's more of like we learn from each other in that experience. So I just think.
So Armando's cheating on me. I did not know.
He
about
basically
this.
trying to replace you.
Armando's trying to replace me already.
You're too big for me now, man.
Oh,
Michael's like super expensive. Like you ask him, like, you know what? Like,
what are you talking about? I help out all the time. I like to help people out. Just like I want people to help me out. But to speak on that, kind of when I gonna shamelessly plug my documentary again. I did a collaboration with Ryan's over there laughing, but I did a collaboration with Julie Jules because it's the documentary is something that I always like to do. Was something that I thought about for a long time, and it just so happened that Julie has a presence on social media, and I felt like it would be a great story to tell. It would benefit because people would know more about Julie and what she does. And for me, I get to polish up on my skills to do documentaries because I didn't go to film school or anything. So everything I did, I just learned from watching videos. And, I know I have room to improve, but this helped because I actually got a gig off doing this documentary from this collaboration with Julie. Everything was, she spent her time, I spent my time, no payment was exchanged or anything. And, you get opportunities from that. So.
Yeah. I think for me, collaboration, I didn't say earlier, is that you need to bring some sort of value to the table that's mutually beneficial. Like if I reach out to Michael and I'm like, hey, I want to collab. I say, okay, and he's like, what's your idea? Oh, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Chances are they're not.
Yeah, what? That's funny. I actually got in a DM like that before. It's saying like, "Hey, I love your work. Let's collab." And I'm like, "Okay, that's cool. Let's do something." And then I said, "What do you want to do?" And they're like, "I don't know. Can you think of something?" And I'm like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
Like what?
So like usually if you're just reaching out to somebody like a bigger influencer, like say you want to work with this model, and like, hey, like I want to collab with you, and for whatever reason, your message out of the thousands they would get, and they're interested. You're like, oh, what do you want to do? I don't know. Just take some shots of you.
I mean, at least have an idea, right? Like, oh, I want to do something cool. Like, I want to be in a giant angel wing outfit in the middle of downtown Houston or something like that, At least.
I know a lot of like models have told me like they get DMs all the time from dudes like, hey, I just want to shoot. And their number one idea is like, hey, I want to shoot you in lingerie. And it's like, you have to be somewhat creative. Like, it's just not like every girl just like, hey, I want to shoot you in lingerie or swimwear.
Yeah.
Or like. That's
just on a creep level. Though.
Yeah. Because like a lot of dudes like, okay, I don't want to put it like that. But like, there's creepers out there. But like, like have an idea, have something.
Have a concept, a cool something that you like.
Concept that's mutually beneficial, like how he plugs his documentary every episode, like Julie, like highlighting her, like because time is invested and you never want to waste anybody's time. So, and then that's how people will vouch for you, like, hey, like the experience was great. They came to me like with a plan. It was well executed, not just a bunch of like, oh, what do you think? What do you think? And then they're not going to want to work with you.
Just makes you look a lot more professional.
Yeah, for sure.
I know a couple weeks ago, me and Michael, he reached out to me and said, hey, you want to shoot a video this weekend? I was like, when? Like tomorrow? I was like, oh, okay, cool, let's shoot one. And so he showed up with one of his friends, and we went to, it was like a video for a candle company. And we were just like, well, what do we do? We basically sat around for like 4 hours not doing anything. Just
no.
There was no plan whatsoever. So, but we had fun with each other, right?
But you got the video out, did you?
Yeah.
Exactly. So something happened from that. But to sum it up, it's collaborations, networking, right? Meeting people, and you never know who's going to help you out and what you'll learn from each other. And like I said, I've learned a lot from Armando. He he always tells me that he doesn't know anything, but he doesn't know that I learn everything from him. I just ask him if I need. I just forget YouTube and Google. I just text Armando like, hey Armando, how do I do this? I need help. But yeah, you know, to summarize everything, I think collaborations is something that you should value, something that you should definitely think about, you know, and don't always just kind of hide yourself and think that you shouldn't work for other people, because at the end of the day, it's a community and we're a community of creatives, and you know, there's nothing better than just learning from each other and putting everybody up, you know, it's putting, if I eat, you eat. That's my model. So
Armando, you want to plug your Instagram?
Yeah, my Instagram is Cinematic Labs on Instagram.
Y'all go check him out.
Go check out Cinematic Labs on Instagram. And, you know, we appreciate having Armando in today for our podcast. It was great to hear from him about collaborations and doing and having portfolios. So we really appreciate you coming out, Armando.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so with that said, thank you everybody for listening to this episode of the Sweet and Sour Show. You guys have a great rest of the week.
Catch y'all next time.